Jane Goodall once said, what you do makes a difference. And you have to decide what difference that you want to make. 70% of my audience said that they are currently not giving back to our community. So I would like everyone to close their eyes and to think about what they sympathize for. That can be the planet, animals, the elderly, or our youth. There are no wrong answers. Just whatever you care about. There are endless amounts of people that are in need. The key is finding what you truly care about and starting there. Providing community work and whatever you choose to do not only greatly impacts our community, but will greatly impact your life as well. The world would be chaos without dedicated volunteers. What would happen if volunteers simply disappeared? Seniors would be without meals, mothers without baby supplies, garbage would pile up, parks would close, the natural world would suffer. People around the world would be greeted with locked doors and dark buildings when looking for services that they desperately need. And that's just scratching the surface. This was stated by Youth Voice today. Understanding the needs and hand first has to be established before we can begin to help. There are necessities like food, water, and shelter. According to WeForm.org, it is estimated that 150 million people in our world are homeless. And more than that, struggle to obtain the necessary amount of food and water to meet basic human needs. Other than the necessities, people are in need of assistance like informational needs, assistance with their health, and even human communication. There are so many needs people have that we can contribute to, that many people just overlook. But if people aren't your thing, it doesn't have to stop you. Animals are also need for us to give back. According to PETA, there are approximately 6 to 8 million animals in animal shelters today, in just the US alone. And while shelters do their best to help these animals without resources, without the help of volunteers, they simply would not be able to provide this help that these animals need. And if neither of these options obtain to you, our planet is in great need to keep people healthy, not only for our survival, but for generations to come. Giving back can look like so many things. Both big and small have great impacts. We can help those struggling to meet necessities by volunteering at local soup kitchens or homeless shelters, donating gently used clothing, hygiene items, food items, and water to local shelters and organizations. Another helpful way to impact the homeless community is to create care packages with a few simple items, especially with it getting cold. They could use socks, gloves, hand sanitizer, baby wipes, with trail mix or protein bars, and just keeping them in your car to hand out to those when you see them. While neither of these things take a lot of time or a lot of money, it makes a world of difference to this community. Other ways to give back to those who may not be struggling to meet the necessities is volunteering in a local library to read to your children or read to children in the community. Donating your time to help tutor children, going to senior centers, and just sitting with our older population and talking with them not only greatly impacts their health, but their mental state as well. Another simple and not very time-consuming way we can greatly impact someone's life is by donating blood. Donating blood is essential to help people survive surgery, cancer treatments, chronic illnesses, and traumatic injuries. According to Red Cross, every 2 seconds, someone is in need of blood. Aside from people, we can help animals in our community by donating our time to walk with dogs, just spend time with the cats in the shelter, or simply just donating animal food, litter, old towels, blankets, or animal safe toys. Most animal shelters greatly rely on donations and volunteers to help impact these animals. Lastly, helping our planet is a great way to give back. While you may not see impact instantly or be thanked, buying reusable water bottles, cutting down shower time, unplugging items that you are currently not using make a huge impact in our planet. You can also pick up trash that you see when you're out and about. While giving back is a needed service, it's not a selfless act. 70% of my audience stated that they believe it is a selfless act. Giving back to our community greatly impacts one's well-being, according to Cleveland's Clinic. When people give back to their community, studies have found that it lowers one's blood pressure, increase self-esteem. People who give back to their community also experience less depression, lower stress levels, and a longer lifespan. A greater satisfaction and happiness all around. Giving back to our community doesn't have to take a lot of time. Even small actions create big impacts. Finding out who or what moves you is the first step in making a great impact. Not only improving our society, but your life as well. A few local organizations in our area that could use your help is Children's Village. Children's Village is a home that provides assistance to children who are coming from neglected and abused situations, and they are solely relying on donations. They are always in need of help, and they are always in need of food, clothing. Whatever you can give will be greatly impacted in that community. Also, Auburn Crest is a hospice center in our local area that provides hospice care to seniors, and they just simply need people to go and volunteer and help and sit with seniors to spend time with them and help their mental states. Also, the Furry Farm Rescue is also in need of volunteers. Just simply going and walking or spending time with the animals will make a huge impact along with donations. And before I take any questions, I leave you with this quote by Amelia Earhart. No kind action ever stops with a self. One kind action leads to another. Good example is followed. A single act of kindness throws roots in all directions and makes new trees. The greatest work that kindness does to others is makes them kind themselves. Now, does anyone have any questions for me?
What do you do yourself for the community?
I am currently volunteering at Auburn Crest, and I actually do work with Children's Village at the time being.
And can I volunteer at any old folks home, or?
Yes, you can volunteer at any old folks home. It does not have to be simply Auburn's Crest. I just put Auburn's Crest because I currently work with them, and it is a local facility that is in need of more volunteers.
And if I give at the animal shelter, is that a tax write-off?
I believe so. I'm not 100% sure, but I do believe so that any donations would be a tax write-off.
All right, thank you.
You're very welcome. Are there any more questions for me before we end the speech?
What do you most enjoy about giving back to the community?
I love being able to make an impact. I love being able to spend time and just give back to our community.
Out of the ones that you named, the planet, the elderly, the youth, which one of those is your favorite to give back to?
Personally, I'm greatly impacted by all, but if I had to choose, I would say the youth.
Why is that?
It's a great question, and I don't know. That's just what speaks to my soul. Probably because I'm a mother of 3 as well. Thank you.